What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, and this is the Samsung Galaxy S9. And I paid just $295 for this phone from Amazon Renewed. So in this video, I want to elaborate a bit more about my experience of buying an Amazon Renewed device, and I want to show you everything that does come included when you do place your order. So let's get started. So like I mentioned, I paid just $295 for this phone, so a really incredible discount. And in fact, even now, if you wanted to buy this device brand new, you will still need to spend at least a few $100s more than what I paid for the device. Now, despite this being a renewed phone, it is in excellent condition. The display looks flawless. I don't see any scratches at all. The sides of the phone look great as well. Maybe a few paint chips, and then also around the charging port, you can tell that that's been used. But otherwise, it's a perfectly functional phone. It performs just as well as I would have expected it to perform. But again, I'm getting a very significant discount with the device instead of buying a brand new one. Now, I think moving into 2020, a lot of people are starting to open their eyes and realize that you can actually get a lot more value if you go for a used, older flagship phone instead of going for a brand new budget phone. Now, of course, you still have the ability to buy a budget phone, and if you want to go that route, if you want to get a brand new device, then go ahead and do that, but you won't be getting quite as good of performance. The cameras typically won't be as good either, and overall, I think you're just getting a great value here with the Samsung Galaxy S9 from Amazon Renewed. So as far as what you're getting when you place this order, you do not get the retail box, unfortunately. You also don't get any of the retail accessories, but you do get this generic white box. You also get a generic wall adapter, and then you get a generic USB-C cable. So that's all you get when you order this phone from Amazon Renewed. But I personally don't have a problem with that. I'm totally fine with getting these third-party accessories instead. I mean, it gets the job done, so that's all that matters. And really what's important is the phone itself. So with the device, you are getting a 5.8-inch display, which is Super AMOLED, and it's a 1440p display. So an extremely good-looking display that's very sharp and crisp and clear. It's great for browsing the web, going on social media, and viewing video content. In fact, on YouTube, you can view video content at 1440p. So it's a great viewing experience, and with the device, you're getting a 570 ppi. Now, the aspect ratio with the Samsung Galaxy S9 is 18.5 by 9, so a pretty slim but tall form factor. Maybe not as tall as devices that have a 20 by 9 aspect ratio, such as the Samsung Galaxy A51, which I recently compared this to, but you're still getting a great looking display. And there's no notch, and you do get thicker bezels in the top and bottom, but they're not too thick. I mean, it doesn't really get in the way too much. I'm really curious to know what you think about the bezels on this phone. Does that bother you? Would you rather get a phone with smaller bezels? Or are you just grateful that you can buy an older flagship for $295 but still get great specifications? Now up top here, we get an 8 megapixel front-facing camera, which works really well. You're gonna get great quality from it with really clear selfies. You can switch over to this wider mode as well if you wanna take a wider selfie and fit maybe more people or anything else into the frame. And then you can take live focus, portrait mode photos with the front-facing camera as well. Then with the rear camera, with the Galaxy S9, we're just getting one camera, but it still does support portrait mode. So you can go over to selective focus and you can take photos that blur out the background very nicely. So the photos are really clear. You're getting 4K video recording with this at 60 FPS. As far as the storage goes, you do have a couple of different options on Amazon Renewed. You can go with the 128 gigabyte version of the phone, but you are gonna have to pay a bit more. Now this device is the 64 gig model, so if you do want to spend under $300 for the phone, you are going to have to go with that configuration. Now, I'm sure as time goes on, the price will continue to go down for this device, so definitely take a look at the link in the video description to see the most up-to-date pricing for the Samsung Galaxy S9. Now, you do get microSD card expansion with the phone, so if you do want to expand that storage beyond 64 gigs to maybe offload some of your photos and videos that you've taken, then you can easily put a microSD card into the device. You also get wireless charging with the phone, which is a great thing to see. That's a feature I use all the time. And you do get a fingerprint sensor on the back. So it's a very quick and accurate fingerprint sensor. You also get face recognition and you get an iris scanner to use to unlock the phone, so a bunch of different options to gain access to your device. But like I mentioned, a 12 megapixel camera on the back, really good quality from it. Don't be concerned that it's just 12 megapixels because the actual quality that you get from the camera itself is fantastic. Now internally, the device features 4 gigabytes of RAM and the Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 processor. So I did run an Antutu benchmark test to see how that scores now that we're in 2020. And I got a total score of 340960. So a very good Antutu benchmark score. I mean, that's still pretty much in flagship territory even in 2020. I know that some of the newer flagships are getting up in the 400,000 range, but comparing that to the Samsung Galaxy A20, which has an Antutu benchmark score of 119222, you're getting a much better score with the Galaxy S9. And this phone renewed is about $120 more than the Galaxy A20, so really not much more money for dramatically better performance. Now you are getting a 3000 milliamp hour internal battery with the Samsung Galaxy S9, so not too impressive. But you are going to get good battery life with it because the Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 is very power efficient. Now I know nowadays flagships are coming with 8 gigs of RAM and all the way up to 12 gigs of RAM. In fact, I've heard rumors that the Samsung Galaxy S20, which is going to be their upcoming flagship in 2020, has an Ultra variant that has 18 gigabytes of RAM. That's really pretty overkill. Typically, once you get to 4 gigs of RAM with a smartphone, at least in 2020, it then depends more on the processor for the type of performance you're going to be getting. So expect this device to perform extremely well. Of course, I showed you the Antutu benchmark score already, and 340,000 is probably one of the best Antutu benchmark scores that you can get for a phone under $300 in 2020. Now, I've heard that the Galaxy S9 has been getting updated to Android 10, but my phone still is stuck on Android 9 Pie, but I don't really mind that. I'm fine with Pie for now, but I certainly will be excited when the phone does eventually get updated to Android 10. Now, if you're curious how the size of this phone compares to the Samsung Galaxy A20, you can see that the A20 does feature a much larger display at 6.4 inches, so a bigger display overall, but both displays on these phones are Super AMOLED. Now with the Galaxy S9, this display is super saturated. Whether you like that or not, that's something that Samsung did on purpose because that's the way that they like to tune their displays. Now it seems like the A20 is a little bit less saturated, and I'm going to do a dedicated comparison between these two phones in the future, but it does seem like Samsung has been moving away from having really saturated displays. For one reason or another, I'm not sure exactly why, but that's the route that they've decided to take. But the build quality of this phone is excellent. Of course, in the front, we have this large, great-looking AMOLED display, but running around the sides of the phone is this nice metal band. Then on the back, we have glass. Now the back is very reflective and is a fingerprint magnet, but it still looks really nice. This is the lilac purple color. Now, if you do decide to go the Amazon Renewed route, they do offer a bunch of different colors to choose from, which is great, but I think this color looks really cool. Definitely let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. But you can see in this article, for example, how crisp and clear the display is. I mean, it looks really nice and it's great for reading text especially. $1440p YouTube videos look incredible on the Samsung Galaxy S9. And again, at under $300, you're not going to be able to find a new budget phone that offers a 1440p display. I mean, I know that there are other options, such as the LG G7, which is actually the phone that's recording this video. And that phone is a 1440p display as well. But the display on that device is LCD. And then, of course, the display on the Samsung Galaxy S9 is Super AMOLED. Now, what's amazing is that in 2020, Apple's flagship, the iPhone 11, has a display that's a little bit over 720p, and it's LCD. And this phone starts at $699. So you're getting a much better display with the Samsung Galaxy S9 compared to the iPhone 11. So that's pretty hilarious. But overall, I'm a big fan of the Samsung Galaxy S9. So if you are thinking of going the Amazon Renewed route, I would not hesitate. And if you want to check out the listing that I bought this from, then check out the link in the video description. But again, I don't mind getting a generic box and generic charging accessories because really the main focus is the phone itself and you're going to have a great experience with it. Now there are some other variants available from Amazon Renewed, such as a Verizon variant of the device. Now, I bought the factory unlocked GSM version of the phone, but if you do use a CDMA carrier like Verizon or Sprint, then there are other variants of the phone being offered on Amazon by Amazon Renewed. I'm not sure what the prices are for those devices. I just know that if you do use a GSM carrier like AT&T or T-Mobile or Metro by T-Mobile or Cricket or even Mint Mobile, you're going to be able to use those carriers with this phone with no issues at all. But definitely let me know what you think about the Samsung Galaxy S9 from Amazon Renewed. Do you think this phone is worth $295? And do you think this is one of the best values out there right now? Or do you think you're better off buying a newer budget phone? I know that some people have mentioned that one of the downsides with going the route of these older flagship phones is that you might not get as much software support in the future as you would with the device that's brand new that launched this year. And yeah, that is one factor to consider, but look at how many more benefits you're getting by going the used flagship route. But I'll let you all debate that in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everyone. This is Kevin here, and I will see you in the next video.